Hey guys, welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
And I am Chronicles.
Today we're going to be talking about a particular space station. Well, we're talking about a space station and comparing it to a particular one. We're going to look at the regular one.
Type.
You know what? I'll just be quiet now. You talk now.
Okay, yes, episode 1 was a visual treat of ships, tech, things and bobs, and this is a unnecessary, unexpected, and very welcome one-shot wonder, pretty much. We see an internal shot later, but this is the external, and it might be matte painting, who knows, rather than 3D model, but is a high detail representation of a regular one-esque style station, which of course is a turned around, turned over, flipped on its head orbital complex, but then it then became other things throughout the show and is one of those big kit bashes. And there is one station, of course, Measure of Man, that is the size of a planet. We don't talk about the regular one from regular type Measure of Man. It's big. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to compare this to the station we received from the movie. How different is it? I mean, it's a long time since Wrath of Khan, so it should be different. But it's just interesting to know there is these stations, these way stations, these control platforms, whatever, between Earth and the Moon. They're that close. These things just, functionally they're in. I always consider them being, outpost out there, but to know they're actually in system is kind of cool. So what do you think, Stuart, when you saw it and how it looks?
This is the first time I watched it. Saw it the second, third, and fourth time I watched it, obviously. I'm saying the first watch through, I didn't notice it at all. It's such a quick scene. It was neat to see, and, it looks a little more advanced, safe to say. It's got more lights and shininess on it. But these are probably modified for many different purposes throughout the Federation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cool with that. I like the way it looks, honestly.
Yeah, these things might be the longest running space station.
Maybe this was the orbital office. It got hit by a meteor and turned upside down and drifted close to the moon. And they're just like, leave it. Just retrofit it. Take all the benches off the floor or the ceiling and put them on the floor. I don't know.
Or maybe Low Decks forgot to flip the frame. No, I was thrilled to see it. It's a definitively classic station. Good in its own right, good in track right, and this is super close. But yes, they certainly amped up the glowing elements, kind of forgetting the point of what those circle things are. Because why on earth would you need to put section big glows on an office floor underneath the floor? You wouldn't is the answer, obviously. So this obviously isn't an office complex in the same way. The scale is always a bit confusing because that top bit, it can almost just be a room scale and you'd say, oh, okay, fine. The way the shapes are, that front block giving me a window, you could argue maybe, they could do it as different scales, you wouldn't think too much of it. So, okay, this is a small station.
Yeah, it's been different scales, as you said, throughout Trek. Even in DS9, it serves as a base for a while, and it's much larger than this. Regula wasn't very big. Neither was the office complex, so just saying.
But speaking of Regula, this is the first shot comparison with sort of the full station and, same but different, although they have made a choice to remove certain things that are definitively known to the station. What stands out to you, though?
The one thing that stands out to me is there's 2 antennae instead of just the one. And there's a little hatch or something that's open on the one side, it appears to be. Other than that, the only thing that's missing for me is the arboretum windows, like the plants in there.
Yeah, we're not saying it's a problem, just comparing the two. So it's interesting. I definitely think the scale is different because it's missing all the windows on the rings, all of them. So they're not office complexes. It's got no docking pod bay, which is that little rectangle sticking out. So it hasn't got a docking. I mean, those things are also 200 years old, 100 years old, so that's fine. No arboretum. The bottom section is not. It's very monotone now. They blued it up. It definitely feels more singular purpose to me, if I was to say something.
Yeah, and they also removed the dome off one of the pods because there's like a dome with like a telescope in there originally. It was like a observatory. You can kind of see it on the regular one. It's the back behind. Plus, I had the faster miniature, and it has that as well. So,
subtle things you often miss because you really never focus on it. The next shot, though, is a much more close up, and you can see they did do a very, very good job with the under main chunks piping and such. The things they did very, very well, but this is a clearer way of seeing those outer rectangle bit. There is no docking part. And then, in fact, there is actually because if you know from the inside of the main docking bay, which is the top rectangle, there should be a lit blue X. You can see the X, but it's not lit, which is an interesting choice in the low X version.
The lights aren't on. That's all. There's nobody working in there, so they're saving power. It's fine. I didn't even notice the X that was there. I thought that was missing, but good call out.
Because that changes the vibe. That's the thing they've done. They've monotoned it, had a bigger glow to the bottom, and changed the top glows. And then all of it together just changes your brain state just that little bit while being almost identical.
Yeah, I think the blue color really kind of speaks to the movie era, like the Star Trek 3 scene going into space dock. It's got that kind of blue hue to it because it is around Earth, I guess. It's got the bounce back of light from Earth. I don't know. It has a different feel for sure than even in DS9 or...
I'm getting more Nemesis vibes because they're blue L-cars. Kind of that sleeker blue vibe.
Yeah, I'm just... For externals, for me, it just has a different vibe, like totally, just with that lighting, so...
I think part of it also is that on the miniature, which is beautiful, amazing, they put a lot of these tiny lights to kind of give a sense of scale. All the lights on the new version are drastically bigger and all the small ones are gone, just entirely gone. So the thing feels an entirely different scale just from that. And I'm fine with that. I'm actually quite like it being a 3 or 4 room top bit with bomb bits or whatever. It's just there as a traffic control pod with a bottom, and you don't need an arboretum for that. So I'm actually, totally fine with that. And the last shot is another version. You can see that big bright blue X, which is there but not lit.
And there you can really see the dome with the telescope thing. This is one of the ones I wanted to get from Eagle Moss and never got a chance to. So I need to find one at some point. Because I do like the way the station looks. And I prefer it this way as opposed to the office complex way. So I'm glad they changed that.
I like both, but this just kind of fits better as well. But yeah, I mean, these things, use the canon, use the universe. They could have designed anything new. Didn't have to. Use the canon, bish bosh, there we go.
Your awesome job as viewers is to comment down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell icon so you don't miss other future videos from us, and join us for lives where you can help us out, and lots of ways to help us out. So,
like Patreon, it's monthly, helps out a ton, or PayPal. That's any time, any day, any week, any month at trekyards@hotmail.com, or super chat in any live, anytime you see us. Jump on, say hey, $5, say bye. It'll be short, sweet, but beautiful. Or super thanks in any video in our huge back catalogue. If you like it, put a ring on it, and by ring I mean super thanks.
And that's it. So until next time, guys, he's Commander Cockings.
He's got a photo.
And we will see you guys very soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.